Hey, what's up, people? How's it going? All right, I got a good one for you. It's an old photograph. A lot of people ask me about it and get it confused with the other wall on the Manhattan side. So I figured I'll break it down. I know I've actually talked somewhat about it in the past. Anyway, this wall is on Roosevelt Island. I first did that wall in 1984 to 1985. I can't remember because the other side I did a small blockbuster RD, which was the first blockbuster I ever did. I'll do an episode about that because that whole place is different now too. Um, anyway, back to Roosevelt Island side. 1984, 1985, I did a blockbuster there as high as I could reach RD, not the whole wall or anything. And before me, you had a Zeph, Zeph for Zephyr. You had a NAC, NAC, and a Days. I believe there was a Days there. And throughout time, that thing got pretty much faded out. People went over it and everything like that. And by 1984, I was over there doing an RD. It was, like I said, as high as I could reach. That was probably the third RD I ever did because I lived right across the river on the other side. And the tramway was there. It goes back and forth, back and forth. And you can see this picture. This particular one is 1988. I've done that wall like so many times. It's almost like behind the heliport. Like I was just talking about the area behind the heliport, the Punisher wall. That was like my practice spot where I would practice and stuff. But on the other side of the river, a lot of people lived on Roosevelt Island that I knew. Once upon a time, that was called like Welfare Island, and it was for low income. And I knew people from that island from way back. I knew Darren, Timmy Sheehan, his brother, and you had Emmett, you had Sterling, you had Fate, you had Rep 105. I didn't really get along with Rep 105 or Fate, that Fate. Anyway, that's not Fate ESP East Side Park. That's a younger generation Fate, which was probably 2 years younger than me. The other Fate is from Uptown Mart in Manhattan. Not him, but yeah, I believe those guys crossed it out the first time I did it down there. It probably lasted 2, 3 years. And I believe they went over it. If not, you had these guys in Queens also. Somewhere like, fuck, I can't believe I don't remember what they were. All right, right where Queensbridge houses, the projects, and then you have like Ravenwood houses, the projects. This is Queens I'm talking about, like right up from Long Island City, where you have Queensbridge, the projects. People rap about it all the time. A lot of rappers came out of those projects. You had those projects, and then you had like Ravenwood's right up. Fuck, I can't believe I don't remember these guys. Merck, no, not Merck, Rank, and EK. They were some tough motherfuckers too, but they were cool with me. Those were my peeps. Merck, Rank, EK, yeah, and TA7, stuff like that. Yeah, man, I never had problems with those guys. Those were my peeps. But believe me, yeah, Merck and them, they catch your ass out there back then. Yeah, it'd be a fucked up situation. They ain't playing. Yeah, Merck, Rank, EK, yeah, yeah. Yeah, they were pretty tough cats, but that's not it. Fuck. They literally were out there selling crack, man, hand in hand shit. That's a tough fucking game, man. They were tough dudes. I ain't taking nothing from it. I just don't remember what the fuck they wrote. There was a little crew there. I think they used to hit the Astoria layup. Fuck. Not with Zora and them, because I was cool with Zora. I used to do stick ups with Zora. Zora and Nash away, actually. Fuck. Uh, anyway, I think they went over that one. Probably it lasted till like 85, 86. What the fuck did they write again? Anyone knows, shout it out in the comments, man. Like I say, the hand-to-hand shit, man. They were out there swinging like that on the street. You know how hard that shit is? That's second to a prostitute, man. You think about it, prostitutes got a fucking bad out there back then, man. They're like the number one target for like serial killers and shit like that. Yeah, always getting beat up and robbed and stuff. And then comes your street level picture. Yeah, out there doing hand-to-hand shit, man. Yo, you're like playing fucking, you're fucking hitting a slot machine every time you go out there. You gotta have respect for that shit. I myself, like I said, never ever sold a drug a day in my life. Never, ever, ever. Not my thing. Didn't fuck with that shit like that. But yeah, you gotta think about that for a minute. I just don't remember. I'm trying to think of their crew, man. I don't even think they were from Queensbridge houses. They were from the next projects up, like Ravenwood or something, right near like where that chicken place was, like Kennedy Fried Chicken. Yeah, whatever. I can't remember. But yeah, I remember those guys. They crossed it out once. They went to Roosevelt Island and crossed it out. If not them, it was Rep 105. There was a few of those guys also that had beef with me that were actually from Roosevelt Island. They probably got it. A bunch of people crossed it out. And then I did it again, and it lasted for a while. Anyway, the one particular photo that I got that I'm going to show you guys is when I went with Frankie Gator. That's cute. Yeah. He was a trip, man. He had a KZ 1000, a motorcycle. I believe it was perfectly legal. I don't know, maybe a stamp job or whatever, but it was a perfectly legal motorcycle. And I remember I got a ladder because this is actually, Tishman. You hear me talk about Tishman, the layup that goes under Central Park. Well, Central Park is literally west, like 8, 9 blocks that way, west, all the way that way. And we're down as east as you could be on Manhattan. We're not even in Manhattan at this point. This is Roosevelt Island. The layup that they would park the trains in would be all up over, up there, Fifth Avenue, down and up. And even here at Roosevelt Island, plus in Queensbridge houses on the other side, they'd park trains down there. Anyway, to make a long story short, that layup was not completely built yet. So I said to myself, fuck, I'm going to get a ladder because, yo, when I first did that piece, I was standing on mattresses, man. Like shit that I've actually gotten from there's like a mental institution there, a big psych ward that closed down. It was like a big, I believe, I don't know, it was rumored to be haunted and all that shit. When we were little kids, we'd play tag in there and shit. We'd fuck around wheelchairs and shit. Like you guys seen videos of me in the past. I'm real good with a wheelchair. I'm like fucking Tony Hawk when it comes to having a wheelchair. Yeah, go back to my past videos, man. Yeah, for real. I can do stunts and shit. I've been in a wheelchair fucking on and off a lot. Yeah, I've been out there like that. Anyway, yeah, we get wheelchairs. We'd have smash up derbies in this big abandoned hospital that was on Roosevelt Island. And the rest was just all wooded area, like a fucking jungle. For real. All North American palm trees is what they are. High, tall grass and everything, just everywhere. And then you had this wall, which was a ventilation shaft to the train tunnel that they were building on the ground. So when I first did it, we were just doing it there, he, ha, ha. I didn't even realize that there was trains down there. That came maybe a year or two later. At that point, no, right around the same period of time, actually. Yeah, around 85, 86, we were fucking around down there doing whole cars and shit. Yeah, and even with Sash and Kaya, Caya. Yeah, we were down there from then, like, so probably 85. Yeah, the thing, I might have even done that shit in 84. The first time I ever did this wall that I'm talking about. I don't know if I'm jumping all over the place in conversation, but the first time I've done that wall, I used like box springs and hospital mattress like beds that they had, but they were old shit from like the 70s. They weren't like big, like some shit you'd see in the bone collector or something. These were old school medical equipment. Like beds with wheels on them and shit. You could wheel them around, almost like something you'd find in an ambulance. And I lean that up on the wall, climb up as high as I can, and then on the brown part, it had a lip, and I'd hold on to that. I'd go up, I'd do my shit. And that's how I filled it in the very first time. And I used the touch-tone, is it? That real cheap silver shit that they used to sell in like Lamson's or Woolworths. I stole the whole mess of that shit. I was underage. I was not legally allowed to purchase spray paint, so I had to steal it. Um, Yeah, a lot. There was a lot of cans. It was like 20 something cans because I didn't even use fat caps. I used just the regular caps that came with it. And pretty much the same with the black. Now, that's when I did it with my first time that I reached up as high as I can and I did it. Now, before that, I did one as high as I could reach with just my hands. That was like 84, 85. By 86, 87, I did it big, big, the whole wall. And then this particular photograph you'll see is the third time I did it, the whole wall. And I explained in my Instagram account about Frankie Gator. And this was taken in 1988, this particular picture. So this one's from 1988. And I remember that with Frankie Gator because down under Tishman, like I said, the subway tunnel underground, that thing is the building of. I grabbed a ladder from the Manhattan side and I walked under the river with it. A big, huge ladder, like a 13, like 12-foot ladder, but, young. Well, actually, 1988, I was 20 years old. Right now, I'm 55 years old. So I was 20 years old. Carried this big ass ladder all the way over to the Roosevelt Island side. And it's pretty far. It's like from Fifth Avenue all the way down under the river, which the river, well, from one end of the bridge to the other is 1.5 miles. So the river's like almost a mile long, maybe three-fourths of a mile. So yeah, it's a long walk with a fucking ladder under there. And I left it there near the hatch to the staircase that goes up. So I get all my paint and shit like that, and I see Frankie Gator. And Frankie Gator, nut, man. He used to write, but he didn't really write, right? He just wrote when he was hanging out with us, and he would do these SQ, stood for squirt. Short, strong dude, man. Big biceps, big chest, a thin waist, real fucking knockaround, strong motherfucker. Short, strong dude, man. And he would take me over there on his KZ 1000. He had this motorcycle. I said, yeah. And I'm all set. I got a ladder and everything, man. Yo, just take me over there, man. Smoke some weed and shit. We'll hang out. I said, yeah, all right, I'll go over. We go all the way over there. Not really all the way. We just fly over the bridge on his motorcycle. Like I said, perfectly legal motorcycle. And I say legal because me and him used to steal a lot of motorcycles. And a lot of my stories are with me stealing motorcycles with him and John JJ 357. At this particular time, it's a legal motorcycle he would use to get around with. Had papers for it and everything. I remember because I believe Lace Andrew winded up with that same motorcycle. And I just remembered it's not a 1000, it's a 750. That's what it was. A KZ 750, I believe. Yeah, it wasn't a 1000, it was a KZ 750. That's like before like the Ninja 1000s and shit like that, and the Ninja line came out. So he takes me over there and get all the paint together and shit. I go down into the tunnel. I go down through the stairs all the way down into the tracks. I get my ladder and I come back up to do the thing. Now to get in the door, I use a butter knife. I take a butter knife, I stick it in there, push the little piece back, open the door right up. No problem at all. I go down there, I get the ladder, come back up with the ladder, put it on the wall. And I'm like, all right, so I start sketching out my R, my D. So now Frankie Gator, like I said, wrote square. He starts doing like an S. I'm like, yo, dude, what the fuck you doing? Down off the ladder. I'm like, yo, dude, what are you doing, man? He's like, yo, I'm doing my shit. I'm like, nah, man, I'm doing this whole fucking wall, bro. I told you, like, he knew, later on, it'll be funny when I get to the end of this. But, he's like, yo, but I want to paint. I'm like, no, man. And we knew, like I was telling him, yeah. We were sitting across the river, smoking weed and shit, chilling. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do that whole fucking shit. Watch, yo, come on, let's do this, that. I was looking at it, planning it out mentally in my mind with him right next to me on the Manhattan side. I'm like, yeah, all right. Yeah, I'm going to do it. Let's go. And I'm explaining to him how I'm going to do the whole wall. He's pretty much just coming along to have fun. Well, we get there. He starts taking my paint out. He starts doing like an SQ. I go, dude, what the fuck you doing? He's like, yo, I want to do my shit. I'm like, nah, man. And he a tough fucking dude, man. He wouldn't know, man. Frankie, I mean, he's dead now, man. God rest his soul, man. But yeah, he was a badass, man. He fuck with him, man. I mean, yeah, he was a badass, man. He ain't fucking around. I remember he was chasing around with Pace. Remember big old Pace? Was not a tough ass. He probably robbed more people than I could think of, man. Pace, he definitely robbed a lot of people. But yo, I remember Frankie Gator, man, he was chasing around with a shotgun once. He shot the fucking don't walk sign. So they were carrying a shotgun. Pace, people feared Pace, man. Andrew Paoli, rest in peace also, man. Andrew Paoli, man. Yeah, Pace Hot Crew, Pace 357. Yeah, Andrew Paoli. I remember that shit. He was another badass, man. Anyway, getting back to Frankie Gator, he don't take no shit. He's a little dude, man, little fucking dude. But you're gonna be fighting with him if it goes down that way. Like an argument occurs, it's like you're gonna be fighting. Like, oh, ledge. You'll see the ledge. I actually got some real cool video footage of it. It seems well, actually, they built the ledge out more and put a gate there, like a little fence around it. That wasn't there. It was literally like a catwalk when I was doing it. Well, a little more like let me be real. It's like maybe I don't know, 6 feet, maybe 7 feet. It's not that bad, you know. Anyway, I'm doing my shit. Frankie Gay's like, yo, I want to do my shit. And this is actually in broad daylight, like in the fucking morning, too. That's how dead it was at that point, like at that part right there. Nothing going on over there. And look at the background of the photograph. And I've went back over and you'll see a photograph also of just a big, huge tag I did on that wall. But just don't even look at the wall in the RD. But look around, man. Look at the fucking background. The only thing you'll see is that beige medical hospital. And if you look on the roof of that, clearly you'll see some blue stuff. That's actually a Baron 357. Yeah, Timmy. He used to live out there and he was up on top of that. Like I said, when I was younger, we used to play around in that fucking big abandoned hospital. It was like something fun for kids to do. We'd find all types of crazy shit in there, man. Yeah, we'd be riding around in wheelchairs and shit, hopping on the bed, surfing down the stairs with the beds. They would have wheels on them, like I said, almost like something you would have in an ambulance. We'd go, we'd run fucking on, hop on that shit, and then the other guy would do, let's do it again. Let's do it again. Yeah, we take that thing, we hop on that shit and go down like a flight of fucking stairs, man. They get all fucked up, man. Yeah, so fucking on fire extinguishers and shit. Yeah, we did that shit. Shit. Probably even before single digits, like 9 years old, 10 years old. Yeah, the tramway opened in like mid to late 70s. So yeah, by like 80, 81, 82, that was the fucking thing to do, man. Hell yeah, that shit was like great adventure at Coney Island to us. Going out there, yeah, like a whole new world, man. Take that little tramway and shit. Yeah, had a lot of fun there. Definitely fucked around with that wall a lot. I can't even think of the amounts of times, but I know the exact amount of times I did the whole thing. Like I said, I was painting that thing with Frankie, and Frankie Gator started saying, no, but I want to do something too. And I'm like, dude, come on, man. I told you I brought just enough paint for me, man. And he like, it'll go there. Like, if you get in an argument with that dude, you'll be like, yo, like, what? What the fuck you mean? Like, yeah, you'll go there with him, man. Salty dude, bro. I love him. I know him since you're a little baby, man, a child, but yeah, definitely salty dude. And I'm like, oh, fuck, man. He just killed it. I'm like, yo, what the fuck, man? He's like, he fucking with me. That's it. He beats to my chops, like breaking balls. Cause, I'm all psyched up. I got my shit. I'm like, yo, look, start hopping around out here. I look down, I'm like, yo, what the fuck you doing? And, when someone like that's like, yo, man, it's like, yo, man, so I'm like, oh, who's gonna fuck with me, man? I'm like, yo, man. Yo, next time, man, we're gonna plan and we're gonna do some shit with my big fucking SQ, man. I was like, yeah, we'll do it on the other side, like the heliport side, like the one, actually, Smith Sane, I believe they just had it in their video, the JWF documentaries. That same exact spot. I was like, yeah, we'll do a big SQ over there. I've done that wall several times. I think I even had it at this point and they already crossed it out. So I was like, yeah, we'll do it. Yeah. Anyway, he's like, okay, he's sitting there smoking weed and shit. He's got his motorcycle too. So back then, you could actually pull it up almost right to the wall and with his headlight and shit like that. It was crazy shit. Yeah, and you had it right there. And he was just chilling and shit. And, we're out there smoking weed and hanging out, having a good time. He goes over to the deli. There's a deli all the way down at the other end, like where them buildings are. I explained back then there was only like 2 or 3 groups of buildings on Main Street. You had like 519 and stuff. I know that because I used to go out with a girl that lived in 519. And you had a bunch of the buildings did like an old beige color. And then down at the other end. And in between that, you had like a little deli. You'd run to the deli and get some food and stuff and come back. I'd still be painting out there, man. Yeah, I remember that shit, man. We flipped it, man. We did that whole shit like broad fucking daylight, like 11 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. Finished it completely. Then I don't know. I'm like, shit. Now I got to think about doing Frankie Gator, this big SQ with him and shit. So, I get all the paint together. I told him, this, that. He had me in a tough situation. I'm like, yo, dude, okay, look, we'll do the SQ. I'll do the fucking SQ. I'll get you all the fucking paint you need and this and that. So anyway, you got to do that. Like, he'll be like, yo, what's up? Let's do this shit. So I'm like, all right. I run out, I get all this shit together. I'm like, yo, Frank, let's do this, man. Let's do it. He's like, let's do what? I'm like, the SQ, the squirt shit. Let's go. I'm ready. I got all the paint and everything, man. Let's go, man. I said, yo. He started laughing. He's like, the fuck you? He's like, yo, I was just fucking with you, bro. I was like, what the fuck, man? And he's like, yo, see, dude, I was just fucking with you, bro. You bugging, man. It's just like, yo. I was like, you motherfucker. But anyway, I winded up doing another big RD with all that paint on the other side with Frankie Gator. Also, but not the whole wall on the other side when they lowered me. The same side. I did it over there. This is way after they did it. They did that wall too a bunch of times, but I did the whole fucking thing. I'd have them hanging me off fucking like yellow acrylic rope with a weight fucking belt. They lower me down from up above. Yeah, I was the first originator of that shit. You see now hanging off the sides of them buildings, for real. I was the OG of that shit, man. Yeah, man. I think back, but that was 1988, and I was 20 years old when I did this particular one that's in the photograph of it with the RD, and that's when it's in silver. Then I also did it with the blue that I stole from the Yankee Stadium. I talk about that blue. You look back at my videos, I stole a bunch of this blue and they were painting all the subway stations in Yankee Stadium. So I went over there on that side and I did it with a blue and I used white behind it and some of the white that was already there, kind of. And I didn't like how it looked. It just looked like a big paint roller. I didn't like it. And I was thinking about going and fixing it, and then they buffed it with like beige paint. And they've been buffing the fuck out of that shit. It was on the news too, right after that. That's when it was on the news with Mayor Giuliani and the deputy mayor when they're on a boat and they're like blasting it with like this high pressured water. They're blasting the Baron and the RD, which is down. That's because Governor Como, not Como now, the father. Cuomo. He complained. He opens up his window, and right out the window was a big RD and a Baron. So he was pissed at that. They had the buffet, and they was swearing to get us back then. Never got us at that point. Didn't get me at all till way later. And our Baron. Baron actually never got caught, to the best of my knowledge. At least running with me. And I don't know what happened out in Brooklyn. He went out there and he got messed, he passed away. So I don't know. But yeah, I thought that's something interesting, man. Then later you have another picture of me, just a big RD on it, a big, huge tag. I did that all the time. Like when I was just out running like that, and I would just be bombing, yeah, I'd just ride over there on my bicycle, lean it up against the wall. Just a huge tag. Them fucking tags are big. I do a huge tag. My tag, if you look at the picture of my tag, that's more clear and readable than those guys' blue stuff that they wrote. But I'm not gonna lie, blue is the same color I used when I didn't like it, and then they buffed the whole fucking wall right before I could, fix it up. But I think blue was just like I used it, and it didn't work for me when I tried to do it. It looked kind of like the wall was painted blue. You couldn't really distinguish the lettering. So yeah, I believe white, silver was always the best choice for stuff like that. Far distance, when dealing with fog and bad weather, shit like that. Yeah, I think white stands out with a black background, black thick outline, thick black 3D. And if you have to throw something in the back, maybe a little red, green, or something like that, light blue would work. Yeah. And what else can I say? So anyway, yeah, that big tag there, that was later on. That was in the 90s. I did that. I couldn't tell you, to be truthful. I don't want to say that because I'm thinking I did that probably, but it looks like I go over it and over it and over it, but I don't think that's that. It's too thick. I think that was probably when I was out with RE hopping around because me and RE hit spots the river more. I could show you later on Roosevelt Island. And we did. It's pretty funny. We hopped across on these rocks to get to it. And then RE couldn't hop back. He was scared. Well, the tide went down. It was like crazy shit. I don't blame him. I got long legs, but he got across. But yeah, it was funny. Shit, he got out there. Like, and it was like, shit, how do I get back? I was like, yo, I mean, yeah, I could have just crushed a garbage can or something, flipped it down or something. I mean, eventually there's a way, there's a will. Yeah, you sweat that shit for like 5 minutes. You're like, oh, fuck, I get off this shit. And me, I'm just like, whoop. I'm like a fucking gazelle or a reindeer out there, man. Yeah, Mikey, RE, he was a little more heavy footed. What else is there? Yeah, so I've been catching that wall a lot throughout my life. And I believe the black tag is when I was running with RE probably. Yeah, probably up until 2016, 2015, something like that. Yeah. All right, yo, take care. Look at the footage, all right? The footage is going to come right here. All right. Boom. Hey, what's up, people? How's it going? I'm going to try and sneak back there. I want to show you guys where I used to do these big, huge blockbusters back in the days. Yeah, back before any of this stuff was built. See all this? It was a jungle back then. Let's go and see if I could pull it off. I actually got my laptop out here. I couldn't figure out another way because my son's using my other camera where he's videoing himself painting. It's a big painting. But maybe if I walk backwards, I don't want to look tricky. I just act like I'm pissing. I actually do have to take a piss. So you guys close your eyes for a minute, all right? Anyone looking behind me? Yeah. You see here, that's security. See, you hop down here. Just give me a second, all right? Because I don't want to break my fucking computer, but I don't want to get seen by these people either. Let me put this thing right here. I get too old for this shit. You see, this is the wall. Do not go through so well here. All right, there we go. There we go. Right. You see it behind me? I used to do the whole thing from the floor up. But you can't even see the whole floor here. Let me see if I can put this here. I don't want this shit to fall in the fucking river. Yeah, I can't do that, man. It's gonna fuck me up. My Patreon subscribers got me this thing here. How can I do it? Let me see. You know what it is? It's real bright out here, people. If I put it like that, take that. I do it all the way up. Yeah. I don't know if you guys saw me over there, did you? Like, in other words, yeah. To the wall. So imagine the whole thing. I don't know what these assholes. You can't even see that shit. But though that got glare, I see him up a lot. Let me see. I think I get out of here this way easier. Yeah, I used to smash that whole wall. To see from the FDR. Sorry, the screen's just real bright. You see it? Anyway, that's the FDR Drive right there. Yeah, come out right here. How crazy is that? Could have ran right out here. Really to give you a better idea of how tall that wall is. You got this here. Let me try and get a marker. I can see that vent. That vent wasn't there, but look how tall that wall is. This one about back in the 80s. You'll see none of this shit was behind me, all these buildings. Just a big psych ward, a big shut down mental institution. Yeah, I used to smash that whole wall, man. Yeah, I'm going. Yeah, I got a little security problem here. Let me go, people. All right, well, I'm good. Yeah, I've done this wall. First time I ever did it. See it, I'll talk to you like that. It's right here. Big ladder. I was doing it around the same time I was doing the one right across the river. That way. Um, this one, this wall here had a Zephyr and a Days on it. Maybe around 82, 83. And a Knack. No, Knack. N-A-K. Knack, Days, Zephyr. And some other shit. And then I came by and I did the whole fucking wall by like 85? Nah, late 86. Yeah, 80, 86. No, 85 I was here and I didn't do the whole wall. But that's right, 85 and even 84 I did a silver blockbuster here. Not the whole wall. Not the whole wall. I did the whole wall around 86, 87. The whole wall. And you'll see pictures. You'll see how this island doesn't look like it looks now. I'm going to walk around and show you a little bit. But for now, let me click off. See, you look across the river. You want to watch that for a little while? There's Uptown. See along the river here? Right along the river where you see those people? Blow it up. Probably not. Is it still going? Yes, this is real bright outside, people. You see that? We would use that. That's where we would ride our stolen motorcycles. Ones we didn't care about, we were just having a good time. We'd ride them up and down that river there. And the cops couldn't really get there. All right, I'll talk to you in a minute. I can't even see the fucking button. It's so bright out here. All right, now, when I originally did that spot, that stuff there wasn't even there. And that's the shaft that goes down to Tishman for the subways with the layup we used to hit. But the shaft wasn't built all the way up like that. It was just on the ground with a grating with the cinder block dividers. So I'm going to try and do it this way. I guess you'll see what I see, right? See, that's the FDR Drive. You see it? Yeah, you see it perfectly. So like I said, that thing there wasn't there. It was just the barrier for the traffic to go and a grating. When I did the wall, you were able to see it all the way up from fucking First Avenue. The 63rd Street would go all the way straight up. Look at that. You'd be able to see it from like First Avenue. Let me flip it around again. Because now I'm in Manhattan. I'm not on Roosevelt Island no more. You see this thing? It was not there. It just had the cement barricades there with a grating. And a homeless guy used to sleep on it. Hot air would come up. I think hot air. I don't know. He slept on it. His house there. Now you can't see it no more. But Mikey Axe, STM, he had this side right there. You can't see it no more. They didn't paint over it or buff it. They just faded out. All right, now you see the wall? I can't see shit. It's so light right out. Point all the fucking. You know, like what we're trying to just do. Yeah, yeah. Well, notice all them buildings, man. Look at that shit. None of that was there, man. Well, what was there is these buildings right here. That's where Timmy Barron used to live. Right in those. Everything else wasn't there. Down there, too. All this stuff is new. All that shit. Well, within the past 30 years. Yeah, man. I see that old frog tag. Oh, Frog. Yeah, that used to be me. They call me Frog. Yeah, because I leap at an opportunity. Nah, I'm only fucking with you. But I did do that. It stands for the fucking realist OG.